Hello everyone, and welcome to the Positivity Vibe Tribe space. Today it is a community space, and we are talking about being inspired to believe in yourself. So this is one of those favorite topics, so I really love it so much. Oh, hey Richard, good to see you here. Just opening up the space, and I'm going to start to just load up the nest for us. So I'm just going to head off and do that for 1 second while everybody settles in. Okay, let me just load up. First of all, the Believe in Yourself, the YouTube show. It's under 10 minutes, so very achievable to watch in your day, and hopefully I cover off some good things that might be of use. So let's put that up there. Of course, posting our details to our wonderful sponsors, Wordsmith Pakistan. Thank you for being our sponsors for this show. And then I'm also posting up in the nest the Positivity Vibe Tribe community, so they can get up into the community, join all the wonderful posting, all the wonderful people in there. The link is up in the nest. And also the other thing I'm posting is the joining the super followers in the VIP club for the exclusive spaces. It's a monthly paid subscription. Okay. Oh, hey. Speaking of super followers, hey Brendan, how are you? Let's hope we can get you up here. And everybody, welcome. Hey Brendan, how are you? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Hi, Indra. How are you? I'm good.
I'm good too. Hey, it's so wonderful to see you. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, Richard's already in the chat. Love it. Let's blow this chat up, people. I'm just going to put a welcome post.
I'll retweet it.
Thank you so much. If you could also retweet as well, now would be a great time. Hey, Lance and Karen are in the building. Love it. We see Lance, we see Karen. Hey, Legion is here. Hey, guys. Welcome. This is a community space, as you know, so we are inviting people up early to chat in the community space because we don't have a guest today. It's all about you guys and hearing your voices. Yep, that's what it is. So let me just see. What have I got up in the nest so far? Okay, I've got the super followers, I've got the community post, I've got our sponsors, and I've got our show. So I think we're good up there. Everything is there. All right. So all we need is our co-host to start arriving soon, or at least one of them. And I believe that one is on his way. So very good. So let's tweet this space out. Our partners have just shared it out. Thank you to Bunsen and Beaker for sharing that out. And what else have we got here going on? Okay. All right. Okay. So our partners are setting up their space, and then they're going to share it with me so I can share it in the nest, just in case anybody is a pet lover for Saturday night. Okay. So let's get that going. All right. Hey, welcome, Chris. Great to see you. Hey, Oz is here. Welcome, Oz. Be awesome if everybody could tweet out the space, please, and share it out, and we can load up this room literally. Thank you. Brendan's just tweeted out the space. Thank you for everybody to liking all the things in the nest. And we've got the chat down the bottom. So this is the easiest way for anybody to tweet out the space, is to hit the bubble down the bottom in the chat and just hit the retweet. And that's what I really love about it. Oh, okay. Lance and Karen are in the chat and lighting it up, of course, as always. Love that so much. Thank you guys for getting into the chat and already putting some nuggets in there. Love that so much. That is one of my favorite things to do, by the way, is to go after the space and really catch up and read your comments thoroughly. Okay, hey, we have one co-host has arrived. Rev, Mac Live. Let's see if we can get you loaded up here as a co-host. Okay, because today we're having a community space and an amazing topic. I just love this topic so much. So yes, everybody get into the chat and light it up. Hey, Benny has arrived. Great to see you. Benny, I'm going to invite you up early because we have a community space. So we are inviting speakers up. Oz, if you want to come up, and anybody else. I just want to say if there's anybody in the space that hasn't spoken before and you don't really speak in spaces, feel confident that this is the space for you to come up, to say hi, to talk about the topic, maybe share some of your thoughts or ask some questions, or even just introduce yourself to get used to speaking in spaces. So really warm welcome to anybody that hasn't spoken before, because that's something that we really love to have is new speakers in the space. Hey Rev, how are you? Don't know if he's able to speak. Let's see.
Hey, Indra, I'm doing pretty well. I'm tied up today with a little bit of a project, but I will be in and out, and I am definitely here.
Awesome. Okay, thank you so much. Appreciate you always being in the space. All right. Okay, well, let's make an official welcome. I know the other co-host is on his way. Welcome to everybody in the space. Hey, I see, well, Eloise is always here. Hey, Lynn, so happy to see you. And, wow, awesome. Okay, so let's just cover off what's up in the nest first of all, and then we'll make an official start. So up in the nest, we have, of course, joined the super followers and the VIP club. So that's where I'm holding exclusive spaces to talk about topics that are more related to the entertainment field and what I'm doing, develop my movie or my other projects, my hosting. I also end up covering off some spirituality stuff and topics that we talk about here in the space. As well as try to support people if they have questions about things that I can help on. Plus, up and coming soon is going to be inviting some of my friends in the entertainment industry to join us as special guests in the space. So that's what's happening with the VIP Club. So if you'd like to get into that, that's a paid monthly subscription. Okay, and then there's the Positivity Vibe Tribe community. So if you're not already a member, do join because there are amazing, insightful posts every day. Thank you to our sponsors, Word Smith Pakistan, for sponsoring this show. So awesome. And then also up there in the nest is Believe in Yourself, the actual show that inspired this show. So that's a YouTube show and it's under 10 minutes. So also love your subscribe on that. And I know many of you have supported me, so thank you so much. All right. Well, let's get this show on the road and make a start. All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Positivity Vibe Tribe space. So I'm Indra Bartona, a producer in the film and television industry and a TV host, also founder of the Positivity Vibe Tribe. Originally, I'm from Australia and lived in London for several years, now based in Los Angeles. So I started Positivity Vibe Tribe, the journey, with my YouTube channel, and it became my personal brand. So it is just an amazing resource, the Positivity Vibe Tribe, in the Twitter Spaces to bridge a gap across all social media platforms, and most importantly, have engagement with all of you in the community. So I really love that. So today I am joined by my co-host RevMac Live, and hopefully Stephen J. Casciano will join us very soon. He's sort of behind the scenes team member. So today's topic is believe in yourself, and how understanding the power of self-belief can really change your world. I think there's a lot to be said about believing in yourself. It's not always the easiest thing to do. And we all have moments of where we have to actually just kind of reset ourselves and remind ourselves of the importance of self-belief. It's not something to be taken lightly or to take for granted, as I feel like it's our human nature. And I'm going to go back to even just the fact that something that Buddha, also practices, thoughts become things, or another way of looking at that is, well, we certainly are all energy. We're all pure energy. So where we put our focus is where energy is going to go, and where our path will go, where our direction goes in life, where our mindset is. So all of these things really stem back with us, and they come back to us. So I think let's define believe in yourself just for a moment, because when I feel like when you believe in yourself, you have the faith in your abilities, and you can do the thing. So whatever that is, okay, whatever the thing is, whether the thing is, okay, I'm going to excel at my work, I'm going to excel at a hobby that I do, I'm going to be successful in my life, and whatever that means to you to be successful. So it's almost as if when you have that self-belief, you also, it leads to having self-confidence. It's almost, it goes hand in hand. So you believe in yourself, you have that quiet confidence in your capabilities, in your abilities to do whatever you need to do at that time in your life. And that is also, look, we have many roles. So our roles being whether it's husband, wife, partner, parents, whatever that is, working in our job, our occupations. So many things really are affected by our self-belief. And that's where I really feel that this is not to be taken lightly at any time, that we really have to invest in self-belief and in believing in ourselves on so many different levels. I mean, it's something that I don't think there's a day goes past where we aren't relying on some level of self-belief for ourselves. If you look at any successful people in any field, and I'm going to say that definition of success is individual to all of us in this room. But one thing that they have is that they truly believe in themselves. They believe in their abilities and skills and knowledge. And successful people believe just so deeply in their own abilities that it's almost as if nothing phases them. If a door closes on them, they just realize, okay, so it's not the right opportunity for me. It wasn't the right door. And one of the things that I really love is that often we can just create a new door if there isn't a door there. We have the power to do that ourselves. So creating a door for ourselves is just the ultimate, that we're not going to take no for an answer. I just want to welcome some of the new people that have just joined us in the space. And this is a community space, so do feel free to request to speak. Early in the piece, hey, I see Our friend Khalid has joined. Welcome, welcome. Wonderful to see you. And yeah, do feel free to come up. We have our first speaker here. Brendan, I've just kind of, laid out some kind of parameters here of the discussion. What are your thoughts about being inspired to believe in yourself?
I think it's really natural in all of us to want to believe in ourselves, and the problem is not so much that we need to inspire ourselves to believe in ourselves, but stop the things that send us off course as we grow older. There was a famous experiment, I don't know if anyone's heard of it, but where they had young children and they put a plastic box with some marbles in front of them, and they had this clown called Bobo that gave out a marble on like a fixed schedule. So I think it gave it out like every 5 minutes or something like that. And when you watch the children, they believe that by sort of shaking their hips or making a face or doing different things, that they were getting the marble to come out, even though it was just mechanically coming out on a timer. So even in children, we can see that we all believe in ourselves from a young age. So I think the thing is, how do you stop and make sure that doesn't stop? Because as we come up against society and things like that, it's hard to kind of keep that going sometimes.
I think that's a really great point that you just raised. And I just want to jump onto the end of that. How do you keep that momentum going? Well, that's where we have to come back to nurturing ourselves, right? On a daily basis. We have to come back to making sure that we're taking care of ourselves. I mean, this is the crazy thing, like it's part of like filling up the cup again. So doing what we have to do, Brendan, is a daily thing, and it's sort of, you can call it self-care, you can do it whatever it is, but putting some attention on you to make sure you have all your basics covered off, and then a little bit more that we can go further, because it's part of, okay, if we don't kind of make sure, okay, well, just even the basics, do we have enough sleep? Are we nutritioned? Do we have everything in order for our day? Just a little bit of planning. And are we just going about our day and also being aware of our self-talk? Things like that can, we start off really great, and then it is a natural thing that we have so many thoughts, rumbling around in our minds. And, we don't want to kind of start to tear down ourselves. In fact, we want to celebrate even the smallest wins that we have and acknowledge those things. And I think that's really, really important, because when you do believe in yourself, it leads to being more focused in life. So we can really focus in on those things that we're doing, that we're trying to achieve. And when you move with confidence and your action items just seem to be completed faster. Now, that's for myself when I say that. And then, faster than if you have self-doubt about yourself. Well, you're even pausing before you take on the next task. You're doubting yourself. And that is also taking away precious time. And you're not really even being efficient with yourself, with your time. Hey, Benny, welcome. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this.
Yeah, thank you very much, Indra. And yeah, I love this topic on the space. I don't have too much time to speak, but I'll definitely listen in further. But I wanted to share my initial thoughts on it, because I think it's very important to believe in yourself. And for me, that comes from first knowing yourself, and also being in touch with your vulnerabilities and your weaknesses, and accepting them for what they are. And once you know those, you can learn how to grow. You can know how to address them. You can recognize them, because they can sometimes lead to that lack of confidence and losing that belief in yourself. And once you realize those moments, you can what you said at the end, the self-talk, you can give yourself some cheers, some pep, some pep words, some positive vibes to get you out of that, because we all face those moments, right, where we have a little bit of less energy, we feel a bit down, we have doubts. And I think even the people that we think they have made it, they will probably have worries, anxieties as well, just as they're just human beings, just as we are. But they have that drive, and at one point it's not even a decision to do something, it's just something that you have to do. But I think going back to the basics, knowing who you are, being in touch with all sides, the things you do well, but also the things you struggle with. And sometimes you just need to push yourself. And I had a colleague say that fake it until you make it. Sometimes that's just what you got to do. You got to fake it until you make it, and pretend that you know everything about it, and just go about it. And then you'll learn. But it's difficult, and there's support around you. And sometimes you have to remember, like, everybody is just trying to get ahead and trying to live the best life they can, but they don't know how, and it looks like it's easy for them. So it can be quite daunting if we compare ourselves too much with others. But I think it's just, yeah, as I said, going back to the basics, finding that trust in those moments when you have vulnerabilities and you have those negative thoughts, and then tell yourself, I can do this. And that's where the self-talk, I think that's a good point that you made, to give yourself that positive talk and pull yourself up if you need to. So yeah, I love this topic, and it's important, right, to believe in ourselves, to keep doing the things that we do. So yeah, thanks for bringing this up.
Thanks so much, Benny. Okay, over to you, Khalid. Welcome, Khalid, to the Positivity Vibe Tribe space, as always. Love to hear your thoughts on believe in yourself.
Thank you, Indra. Hi to you, and hi to everybody in your room. Believe in yourself, and believe yourself is the key of creation. And believe in yourself. I want to share with you one thought, that all arts and all sciences are inside our DNA from our father Adam, first human being. That's mean it's you became, when you are believing in yourself, it's many benefits reflect on you and all people around you, your family, your society, your country. Everybody will contact with you and realize that you are believing in yourself. He will feel it, and he will feel your energy. So the key of success is believing in yourself, and believe yourself. That's my thoughts, Indra, for today. And I want to thank you, and a beautiful topic as always. You're doing beautiful things. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Khalid. I think one of the things that you just mentioned that's really important is that when we're believing in ourselves and when we are able to hold that within our hearts, we touch everybody else around us and they feel that. And that is good energy. That's really inspiring to others, because that can encourage others to also lead with that in their hearts as well, to believe in themselves. When we can believe in ourselves, we can be so giving to others. And that is the most incredible thing, because our cup is full. We have invested in ourselves, because I don't think it's just an automatic thing for us to wake up, jump out of bed, and just feel like, oh, okay, I fully believe myself. Some mornings it might be, and I hope it is for everybody, but it's also about our energy levels. And Benny mentioned something about energy levels as well. Like we vary with different energy levels, and some nights, okay, we didn't have a great night's sleep the night before, so that is going to impact on us in some shape or form. So we have to make adjustments. Do we need to be a little bit more caring with ourselves? Do we need to take it a bit slower? Do we really need a good breakfast in the morning? We need to be aware of ourselves. And do we really need to journal or meditate? Because we need that extra boom, are there some things that we can do? Do we have a good set of things that we can efficiently do in the morning for ourselves to also support the rest of the day? Believing in yourself really does go deep. And one of my favorite things about believing in yourself is that when we are faced with struggles and unexpected turns in life, we hold the key to making it through a little more easier than if we don't have that covered off. Khalid, over to you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you indeed, Indra. But I mentioned that believe in yourself is the key of creation. The mood of creation. You don't believe in yourself, you're out of the mood of creation. The most important in creation, if you want to be a creator, it's believing in yourself. It's very important at this point. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Khalid. Brendan, over to you. I see you've got your hand up.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's really interesting. Just even hearing what Benny and Khalid and you just said, it's really lifted my mood already. And I did have a pretty hard night last night. I didn't get much sleep, and I noticed my eye had got a bit puffy as well because it was just through not getting the sleep. And if you don't look after yourself and your cup is empty, then you can't fill up anything else. So I think it's really interesting how just a few inspirational ideas, like having a pep talk or remembering that it's so important towards being a creator, and that's something that I really want to be as a online creator of content. So it's really inspiring. So thanks, everyone.
Well said, Brendan. And that's that's a real life example. Not having enough sleep can even kind of, it's like an energy thing for us. So that can even be a little bit insidious for us. So welcome to Lance and Karen. Love it when you guys chime in and share in the space. And hey, thank you everybody for getting into the chat down the bottom. I see a lot of people in the chat and would love to continue. You guys just keep jumping in the chat, write some comments, be active, and chime in with each other, or just share some thoughts on believing in yourself, especially if you can't get the mic and share, because I know a lot of you are working away and you listen in to the space. I really appreciate that. So over to you, Lance.
Thanks, Indra. Hello, everybody, listeners, other speakers. Rev, all great to see you. Love being in the space always. Here's Karen for a second.
Hi, Indra. I'm sending my love and blessings to you, my dear, and thank you for holding such a wonderful space. I'm blessed to be here with all of you. Thank you.
Oh, yay, Karen. Love and light to you, always.
Actually, Karen and I today are feeling a lot like Brendan. We haven't had a whole lot of sleep, and the reason for that is we started out going to bed at a reasonable hour, and then this is what went on. We ended up getting fire alarms that were going off. So when the fire department came here to shut it off, then it was another person would pull it again, and that went on throughout the night. So it's kind of hard to get your sleep that way.
Yeah, but you have to look after yourself like you've been talking about with others, Indra. I truly believe that, because there's no one else that's going to be responsible for you. So someone's got to do it. Might as well be the one that's you're living in the body for.
Yeah.
Hello?
Hello.
Oh, sorry. I was talking and I was muted as usual. Wow, I've just I've been sharing into the air. Well,
Mm-hmm.
no, I totally believe that this is a really big thing, is covering off some of our basic needs, and so there's already 3 people here in the space that didn't have a great night's sleep, and so we're not starting at the best place that we can be,
Mm-hmm.
but that just all that is I mean, basically being self-aware of where we're starting. Okay, I didn't have a great night's sleep, but that's not going to hold me back on any level,
No, so
and I know that that's for all of you here that have just shared that. It's not like it's holding you back. Here you are in the space, and all 3 of you are speaking, so kudos, amazing, celebrate.
yes.
I love it.
So what Karen and I did, well, Karen went back to bed, and what I did in order to build more into the whole believing in yourself and everything else, I just went back and got a few more Z's, and I love getting active with the body and pushing myself forward with some gentle push-ups and getting into some exercise routines, and always if you take your light fist and you tap like right around on your thymus, and you breathe in at the same time lightly, you can get back. It can change if you're having negative thoughts or anything like that. You can change around to bring it back into some positive energy. And Palo Santo, burning that too is lovely for positive energy. I love it. But getting into the whole believing in yourself, there was once upon a time I went through a whole bunch of different things in my life where I never believed in myself. I never believed in a process, and it wasn't an easy ordeal to go through. But I was grateful that I did. There was a teacher that said, "Until you can believe in yourself, Lance, I believe in you." Not only was that powerful for me to hear, but I just said, "Wow, that was just really, really powerful." So I ended up using empowerment. So the teacher would say, and my mom was also an instrument of loving action in this too, of writing stuff down as powerful affirmations for yourself so you can see them every single day. And it's hard when you're going through um, bullies or other kids that in your life that don't want to believe in you. They want to knock you down, and you go through the whole self-esteem area. When you don't know self, it always feels like you got a steam cleaner around the other area of just, it's like sucking that life force out of you. But when you have those spiritual tools to bring forth what you can with those affirmations, and you can empower yourself every day. The teacher also brought me a believe in yourself rock that I could look at every single day as well. So these little spiritual food for thought all kept on coming forward. So little by little, as I kept on going in with doing a lot of work for myself, going to counseling, just taking the necessary actions to do those areas. It took a lot of different areas to look at it as stepping stones, but I also found out what was molding me and blocking me the most: limiting beliefs. So every single time I went into a negative action where I started saying, well, I am not that smart, or I'd say stuff like that, the person would turn around and say, no, say something in empowerment. And I would say to myself, first of all, I clicked my fingers. I said, excuse me, where do you think you're going? And I'd use that quite a bit, or snap out of it was my favorite one too. I'd snap out of it and then put some empowerment in there where I'd say, I do believe in this process, because without this process, where you going to go? Fork in the road. Where are you going to go? Are you going to go back into fear and no faith, or are you going to have faith and go forward and trust?
Is it still online?
Yeah.
What sort of spiritual tools or tools that people use to help kind of master themselves? I'd be really interested to hear, like, what kind of practices people do, or how they how they get that kind of command of their self-image, and overcome those limiting beliefs that we all have.
Well, what I did to find out, in order to find out how to clear limiting beliefs, I was going through personal development training with Achieve Today at the time, and my coach ended up saying, listen, you never got sick overnight. You're not going to get well overnight. So he was showing me different areas and different clearings you can go to different life coaches with that can help you clear that stuff out. He was using tools like certain NLP at times, or just gentle affirmations. He says write down the thoughts in a notebook. So all of these, and see how see where they go from there. I got to see over a period of time as I was writing inside of a journal for quite some time and journaling every single day, where the thought process was taking me. And I asked myself, well, how far down the rabbit hole do I really want to go? Because the more and more I got to be negative into those, it wasn't empowerment at all. But when I kept on going through those intense moments, Tony Robbins expresses this as the dark night of the soul. Once I could go on with what was causing those dark nights of the soul and where I want to go with that empowerment, then it was, it felt free. I was freeing myself up when I started to clear those spaces.
So Lance, I want to jump in there just then.
Sure.
You really covered off something pretty valuable, that you had enough self-awareness to identify these areas, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, so how did you do that? Because look, I know for a lot of us, we're just going along, and not that we're robots, but sort of, like we get into our routines and things. So what kind of helped you to identify those areas? Because I think the thing is, you nailed a lot of things, and I actually like a lot of things that Tony Robbins talks about. He talks about positivity, about growth mindset, about, even just the importance of being confident in being able to just, not just go through your day, but to excel at your day, to win.
Right. So what I ended up doing in with this whole entire process, well, when to gain more self-awareness, everything was like right at me at the time, and it was like right up close into my face, and it said to me, either you can go down the path and keep on going down and struggle, or you can get help for it. So what do you want to do at that point? So I want to find out more what I can do for myself. And my mom and my teacher at the time were sharing those golden nuggets with me, of when you don't have the right tools to empower yourself, others that have those tools to empower you, they were showing me, like, okay, affirmations was one of those tools, meditation, slowing the mind down, because all this was really foreign to me when I started this whole entire spiritual path. Let me tell you, I never trusted anybody. I was going through the motions every single day, and it was a process of going through the stuff little by little. So as I was therapeutically going through my journal, I got to see what was going on, like where were the negative thoughts coming from? What did I want to do with them? That was only one part of action. And going to the library, reading books under self-help is good and all, but if you don't have anybody else to go through that work with, you can collect all the self-help books you want. It doesn't mean you're not going to go anywhere in it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing that. We're going to come back to you.
Okay. Indra.
Okay, so I'd like to welcome Liam to the space. Thank you so much for always supporting the Positivity Vibe Tribe, Liam, as well. Love to hear your thoughts on believing in yourself, and or if you wanted to chime in on also anything that's been shared so far.
Thanks, Indra. Yeah, just want to touch briefly on the sleep piece that was mentioned a couple of minutes ago. And this might be easier said than done, but there's a principle I hold very close, which is don't do more today than you can recover from today. And that ensures that I've got the energy to get going every day. It ensures that I'm reducing that burnout, and also generally means that I can sleep a bit better. So the energy piece alongside that is really important to keep yourself inspired, keep pushing forward and having the energy to do your highest cognitive tasks to push forward everything that you're working on. But I think in terms of the piece of believing in yourself, I think one of the biggest problems that people face here is imposter syndrome. And we think that we don't have value to add to the world, or at least we question the abilities that we have. And I think the important thing here is that nobody else in the world has the knowledge from your perspective. Nobody. So by sharing the perspective that you have, you are adding value. You are adding diversity of thought to any discussion. And I think framing it in that way helps you back yourself and really push forward. And I think in terms of believing in yourself, it's important to have a community around you. And Lance mentioned there that if you could read all the self-help books, but if you've got nobody who's there with you on that journey to help drive forward, taking action on some of those things, it can be a little tricky. I think community is a really important aspect here. And surrounding yourself with people who aren't necessarily doing the same things as you, but are out there pursuing similar things, out there either trying to push forward particular goals or trying to add value to a lot of people in their lives. So the Positivity Vibe Tribe is such a great example of that community. Showing up here a couple of times a week in spaces helps you to be inspired. You've got other people doing very similar things on a similar path, trying to add positivity to the world. And that community adds value. It is inspiring and certainly helps me to believe in myself to push forward some of the things that I'm working on. So I think backing yourself, understanding that nobody else has the knowledge that you can add to the world, and surrounding yourselves with the right people are really, really important. And there's just one other important thing that I want to share. And I think a lot of people think hard things, big, audacious goals are impossible. I think there are three things that help you make the breakthrough to be able to push through what a lot of people frame as impossible. The first of that is the psychology, and the growth mindset has already been mentioned. But I think believing in what you're seeking to achieve, that is possible, is an important aspect. Second of all, a strategy. So having the clear path to actually move it forward, a plan of action that actually makes progress, that actually moves the needle. I think breaking it into small tasks is a really important part of that strategy. I think that's slightly different from goal setting, which is why I mentioned that. And then the third is divorcing the story of your own limitation. Often we tell ourselves that we can't do it. We tell ourselves that this is going to be stressful or this is going to be hard. And if we approach it in that way, the certain thing is it's absolutely going to be stressful. It's actually 100% going to be hard. But if you can change that narrative to one of opportunity, one of an opportunity to show what you can do, an opportunity to add value to the world, focus on what you bring to the table as opposed to what might be holding you back. I think that is a good place to start. So they're my thoughts, Indra. Thank you for the space.
That was amazing, Liam. You really nailed some things down, and hopefully I captured the three parts. If not, jump into the chat and please do add on to that if I haven't done that justice. But I love that because you really gave us something practical to think about and to shift our mindset, which is what you mentioned, as part of growth mindset, is all about the focus. Beginning of space, I was talking about how we're focusing. Wherever we focus is where the energy is going to go. And Liam just nailed and executed that by actually being very specific and saying, well, just look at the focus. Bring your focus to the things on the table that you can achieve and the story and the narrative that you are aiming towards, and back it up with the task, break it down with the actions and the task. So I really love that. Thank you so much for sharing that. Brendan, I see your hand up. Over to you on this one.
Thanks. Yeah. I was just wondering, has anyone ever done any disidentification exercises? Because that's one that I did, which I found really helpful to develop my awareness, and it just involved like writing down a statement about myself, like who I am. So I think like it started with something like I'm a center of consciousness, or I'm part of God's plan, and then sort of talking a bit about in the statement as well what I have. So it was say something like, I have a body, but I'm not my body, and then I have feelings, but I am not my feelings, and I have thoughts, but I'm not my thoughts. And by sort of reading and reflecting on it, it helped me to kind of disidentify from like my feelings and my thoughts and my body a bit, which then sort of helped uncover a little bit about what was going on, and it kind of allowed me to tap into how I was feeling and watch things a bit more. So I'm still a bit tired, but that was an exercise that was really helpful for me.
Okay, so Brandon, you're talking about using different tools to help with your self-awareness of where you are. So a lot of things that we can do, and you were talking about writing things down as well. So when we're journaling, I like to think of journaling as not necessarily to do it in a really neat and tidy way when I'm full of gratitude and I just want to write those things down. And that is a great time, of course, because we want those times. But also when we're in discomfort. So Brendan was talking about connecting to yourself and tuning into yourself. So when we are in a level of discomfort, that is a great time. And just pen to paper, because it's so organic, not necessarily typing it on the computer. I mean, I always feel like it's better. And just don't even be careful about, just scribble it down. Just basically unfold your emotions onto the page, because this is a great process to do. And it's not that you necessarily, sometimes it's good to reflect on that and look at it and pick up some of those pieces, and you can get action items from that. Okay, well, I just wrote down, for example, so it was last week and I had a really busy week, and I think it was around Thursday morning last week. I was up really early and I'd just done a workout, and I wanted to kind of like cleanse myself before I came into the community space. And I realized that I was tired and I hadn't really slept enough. And sometimes you just need that awareness, and it actually just kind of it came out onto the paper that I feel so tired, and I'd actually written it 3 times. So in my journal. So a lot of things can be revealed, and when you just look at them, okay, I need to be getting to bed a little bit earlier, and if I'm still going to action pack my day the next day. So just things that I have to be aware of, and maybe not stay up so late, doing whatever I'm doing, just conscious shifts, that are really small from doing those things. Okay, so I just wanted to read out something that Khaled sent me. Actually, also believing in yourself and being honest with yourself is the key to joy, success, creation. So that is really beautiful, because it really is. It's the key to so many things. It's the door that is awaiting for us. I feel like it's a door that can constantly open, and sometimes it feels like it's kind of shutting on us a little bit. So that feeling of, okay, I just have to hinge this door open a little bit more. And well, it's a process of working one-on-one with ourselves every day, I feel, to be a stronger you, to believe more in yourself. it's never going to be, okay, well, I did all this work on believing in myself this week and on my capabilities, and I am just pumped. And then so for the next 3 weeks of this month, I don't have to do anything. Well, no, that's not the case. It's just small increments of nurturing ourselves that can really go a long way, and also some practical things. So, like action items towards our goals, as Leah mentioned. So let's welcome Richard to the space. Warm welcome, Richard, one of our very active members in the community.
Hi, everybody. I just believe that everybody should keep a positive mindset. If you have a positive mindset and you try to do good for others and with others and to others, then you cast that feeling amongst their being, and it inspires them to try to do the same. And that feeling is contagious because it makes you feel great inside. And I think that more people should try to do good even though there's a lot of negative around them. And as long as you do good, think about the good you do, and don't let the negative things that are around you that are trying to drag you down. Keep in mind those positive things that you do good for others for. That's what I got to say. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Richard. And that's another great point, is by also not, sometimes we need to take the focus off ourselves and action some things of kindness, of doing some things that are external to ourselves. And I know that there's always this I almost think sometimes when you do acts of kindness to others and when you're doing good and being thoughtful to others, it's almost like it is a gift to you, because when you see their eyes light up or when you hear their voice, it is something that just comes back. And it's like it's just this wonderful feeling that you get, and sometimes it's just indescribable. It's this moment of connection with the other person. So what you just shared, Richard, was really, really powerful, and I really feel like that can solve a lot of things in our life, to sometimes step outside of ourselves and just reach out and to do some good things for others. We had somebody the other day talking about just how they're really busy with charity, doing things in charity, making sure that they have enough time in their life to do some charitable good things. And the thing is that these kind of good deeds they don't have to be these grandiose things. It can be the smallest thing. It can be seeing somebody needs some help with their groceries, or a friend needs some help with a resume or something. And, you just spend that time with them, and it is just, it means the world to them. It's just, their whole being is lit up from this small act of kindness. And so also, I think that reflects back on ourselves, that it helps to build ourselves up. Like, it's an action that we've done, and it's a great deed for others. And it's almost like a reflection in their eyes that they believe in you and you believe in them. I don't know. I think this is a beautiful thing. Brendan, I see your hand up. Over to you.
Thanks, Indra. Yeah, I was just thinking about peak moments as well, because that's something that's been really influential for me. Is like, I don't know whether anyone's ever had this in their life, or perhaps if they're lucky, maybe a few times, but just those moments where you can think back and try and recall a moment in your life that was really satisfying, so much so that you almost felt connected to something greater than yourself. I'm not talking about like a long time, but just like a moment in time. Perhaps you get the hairs on the back of your neck standing up, or you just feel that moment is particularly poignant. And if you can do that, and then just sort of ask yourself, well, what was happening then, and try and relive it, then I think it can help you to try and connect with what you really value, and maybe think about who was around you, where you were, and really put yourself back there, and then write down what was it about that moment that was so valuable to you, because that can, I think, then help inform, where you want to go. It kind of anchors you in a way, by connecting you with your own past and your own history.
Okay, that's another great point too, because those moments are really special moments. So there's certain things that we have in our memories that can boost ourselves up, and especially if we need that little bit of energy boost, where we feel, there's like that we're just not at that vibration where we would like to be, and sometimes that can really help you too. So, use those little tools and tricks and tips that work with you, because I know that we all have different things. For some of us, it's going and, like, well, for example, for me, I will go and just take some time out for myself during my day, and it's very intentional. I will go out and sit in the garden and just enjoy, whatever my favorite beverage is at the time, whether it's a chai latte or whatever it is, a matcha tea, just something I will take outside. I will just give myself that time. And, you can even boost yourself up with some affirmations. Now, I circulate different kind of different affirmations depending. I have write them out on a card, and that's one way that there's these little things that we can do to just top ourselves up during our day. And I'll just pick a card, and I'll take it out with me on my break, and I'll just look at it, and I'll read it, and I'll focus on it, and I'll think about it. And by the time I've finished my tea, I come back inside, I'm ready to get back to whatever I was doing, or jump on a Zoom, or, like today, start this beautiful space on this topic. And that's just another thing that we can do for ourselves. So affirmations are a great thing. If you feel like, okay, I really need a boost in my energy because I'm really not enjoying my self-talk, well, actually do a guided affirmation. And there are plenty online on YouTube. I have loads on my YouTube channel. And you have the music, you have the visual of the words, and you can even speak along with the words, and and just relax in front of the visual, if you need that. And it's sort of a little bit of, you're kind of gently brainwashing yourself with these great thoughts, with these positive thoughts, um, you know, especially if you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed with the other ones and you're not even sure. But the good thing is that you have the awareness that you're getting a little bit drowned with the clouds, the dark clouds hovering. And so you can take some action. And that's a really great one to give yourself a little break and to boost your energy and help you find that spark within you. Something that I do want to talk about is acceptance. Now, when we can accept ourselves and everything about ourselves, we really are starting from a great place. And look, this is another thing that is very Buddha, is they talk about acceptance. So accepting ourselves is really connecting to yourself and being able to self-love yourself, to love yourself for everything that you have, for all your gifts, for everything you have, the good, the bad, the ugly, all of the untapped gifts that you haven't even found yet. So you just as a person being able to shine and not feeling that, oh, I can't do that because what will others think about me, or I can't post this. Well, everybody, if you are members of the tribe, and I think a lot of you are here, yes, I do post some silly dancing videos in the Positivity Vibe Tribe. And I just think I'm not really going to worry about it. I'm just going to put it up as an example that you too can be silly and dance around to music in your kitchen. And it feels very freeing because I'm just accepting myself that I do like to dance around. And there's no reason why you have to dull yourself down for any reason either. Just be you and embrace you. Because the thing is that I just feel like we don't celebrate ourselves enough each day. We are so unique. There is not another you in this world. And when you think about that, wow. So the way I think, the way I move, I talk, I mean, this is unique. Your thoughts at this moment in time are unique. Nobody knows what your thoughts are in this moment, in this space. Only you do. So that in itself is pretty special because you are so unique. So I almost feel like we have to start, constantly putting this piece of appreciating ourselves and being grateful for our own gifts and our own self and our own life, wherever we are. A lot of the time, it's easy to be grateful when something happens, right? So, okay, this has happened, so I'm so grateful. But can we be grateful for this moment right now in this space for ourselves as individuals? I think that's a really special thing that we can all just accept ourselves and appreciate ourselves for who we are and all the wonder that we have. I look around and in this space, and there's everybody is bringing different things to the space. We all come from a different perspective, and I think that is truly our strength. Our differences are our strengths, everybody. The fact that we probably all had something different for breakfast. That's difference in itself. I don't know what you had. Maybe our common ground might be coffee, but our differences are strong and our differences are powerful. So I think that's something that we should be celebrating, and we should be celebrating ourselves. And sometimes we just need to celebrate getting through the day, okay? Because there are often things that we don't even realize that we have overcome in the day. And part of that is our self-belief. It's a big part of that, underlying that we know no matter what, we're going to make it through this day. And then there's another day and another day. So it's really just about taking those small steps and just taking a few moments in even in the morning and just having a practice. And you can even, this is something that is really, it's a powerful thing to do. It's mirror work. And every morning, and you could just be brushing your teeth or brushing your hair or doing something. You're there, right? Where are your thoughts going? So maybe focus those thoughts on, okay, I'm brushing my teeth. And all you have to do is in your head to yourself is say, I love and respect myself just the way I am. And say it over and over again. I love and respect myself just the way I am. I love and respect myself just the way I am. And so if you could just get through that in your head, even better if you can say it out loud, but you're brushing your hair, you're brushing your teeth, you're doing something, and you just look in the mirror. So you have an activity. So, because if you're just going to stand there, it can be more confronting. But if you have a little activity that you're doing, and it's a genuine activity, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm shaving, whatever it is, and look in the mirror and say to yourself, now that is believing in yourself. That right there, I love and respect myself just the way I am. Because you're saying that you accept yourself wholly, just the way you are. That moment, and you're looking in the mirror at yourself. Okay. So I'd love to know if anybody does take that on and send me a DM during the week or come back and let me know in the space. I would love to know if that's something that you guys were willing to try, if it might have worked for you. Or if anybody has any thoughts on it now, I'd love to hear.
Well, I was going to say that music is good for your soul, and it lifts your spirit It makes you feel good inside if you pick the right music. And people should be careful of what they listen to and the lyrics that's in it. Find something that makes you feel good when you listen to it, and it'll help lift your being.
Okay, wow. That is amazing. Music does make you feel good. And so, something else that you just mentioned, Richard, is being aware of your environment and other things and being aware of the music. So, the types of things that we, I guess, that come across our desk during the day, put it that way, that we interact with, we want them to be of the most positive nature, of course, but we can't control everything external. There is no way to control external things that are happening in the world. What we can control is our reaction to everything. That's something. But there is a certain amount of control. Maybe instead of watching, the documentary, say, particularly before you're going to bed on, the garden type, serial killer, maybe that's not a really great thing to go to sleep and to dream to dream about. Maybe there's something else that you could watch instead, a comedy, read a book, listen to some music, have some enjoyment of something else, not necessarily that kind of content. Or if the news is really upsetting you, then don't listen to the news before you go to bed. There's this balance again that we can bring into our life about, well, we still want to be informed, but we probably don't have to do that, the last 30 minutes before we go to bed, or hour. Like, kind of set yourself some parameters of creating, some good vibes before you go to bed, instead of, not being aware of what we are taking in. Because I almost feel like we are all lifelong learners. I mean, we are sponges as humans, and, we're just absorbing a lot of things. So just to bring that awareness to yourself about the content that you do open yourself up to. And as Richard said, music is good for the soul if you pick the right music. So that in itself is really powerful. And I know that for a lot of us, music is just a beautiful thing for us to have. It's something that is very much a part of our life. It's definitely a part of mine. I like many different styles of music, depending on, I guess, what I'm doing at the time. So I will adjust my music depending on the task at hand. For example, if I'm cooking, I want something a little bit more active, and if I'm working, I might want something a little bit more relaxed, like or ambient kind of, or maybe something that's not going to be too distracting. So music is a really great example of incorporating that into our life, and it can make us feel good. And believing in yourself is about ultimately doing things that make you feel good about yourself, and finding those things and being able to tap into those things. Lance, I want to head back over to you and see what your thoughts are, because we've been talking about this topic of believe in yourself. And did you want to add anything new, or did you want to build on something?
Absolutely. I remember how you're saying there, when you're shaving in the mirror, Indra. Well, I like to add in this for food for thought. I've done this when shaving in the mirror. I love and appreciate me and love myself wholly. I want to keep on loving me, baby, and I thank you for loving you. So it's like a whole entire, like you're saying, acceptance for yourself. You're loving where you're at in the moment, and there's this one Native man that I've read his books, and it's really really awesome. His name is Dreaming Bear, and he likes to say when you're giving stuff back to yourself, he's created a Lovevolution website, which is absolutely cool. He talks about the love for yourself and being in this Lovevolution because he's a poet laureate.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. And there's some other stuff like I'll only listen to really, really feel good music, great music that's great for your body and your soul before bed. Nothing negative or anything like that, because I like to keep a pretty good positive. I like to listen to some rap, but not a lot. I've cut back on a lot of it over the years. I believe a positive mindset is a great mindset because you're giving so much back to yourself with that mindset, because charity starts with yourself first before we give it to anybody else.
Absolutely. And that's why it all stems with us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Believing in yourself. That's why it's such a incredible topic to focus on, because, you know, once we focus on ourselves, then I feel like we are almost of so much, we're in a better position to be of service to the world,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Exactly.
Because, I mean, ultimately, you know, that is sort of why we're here, right? We should be of service to others in some shape or form. But that actually entails tapping into, you know, our gifts, our knowledge, our skills, right? That we can share with the world.
I actually did something that was amazing one time with a psychotherapist when I went to go visit her. She ended up having this, she's big on gratitude and everything. She says, we did this who am I exercise, which was really neat. She asked me who am I and where are you from? Like, what planet are you from? So it was really cool. I ended up saying to her, I'm a spiritual being having a human body experience. And I told her I never came here for a 75-year coffee break. And I've tapped into the planet Jupiter from other planetary areas where I've been spiritually. I said we all have a mission when we come to this life, and she ended up saying, "Well, you're a very evolved soul. You came here as a crystal child, and because you never needed any training, Lance, like right there, you've come from these types of dimensional space, so you can see everything, you can feel everything, you have these innate gifts to see some things with your spiritual eyes that others cannot see, and you've evolved yourself into that earth angel being that you already are."
Well, see, this opens another door that, I mean, we are all these spiritual beings, and we are all created from energy, right?
Mm-hmm. We
So,
come from stardust.
right, which is just incredible. So I don't know if we really understand the value of ourselves and how special we all are. And, you know, where do we come from? I don't know. Everybody comes from different areas, from different planets, who knows, from different galaxies. We're all sort of aliens, right? On so many levels. But the important part is to focus on is that, wow, this is just magical. If, you know, look, I've always found it interesting, and it's very inspiring to believe in yourself if you read, you know, and follow, like the late Bob Proctor used to talk about, well, The Secret on one level, but he used to talk a lot about, you know, believing in yourself and the fact that we are these unique beings, you know, and that whole team, you know, that group of people that are all over The Secret. I mean, there are so many inspiring things that they talk about, and a lot of them are quantum scientists, you know, and, you know, studying the human mind and studying the energy and what we're made up of. And that's really incredible. And it really got me thinking about so many things and the opportunity that we have, each of us. I mean, it's just incredible. I mean, go to anybody's, you know, page here in the space. We're all so unique. We all have so many different gifts. I mean, everybody in the space is coming from a different has different topics, has different ideas on things. It's just an incredible thing that we have, our individuality. So that's why believing in ourselves, accepting ourselves for all that we are, is, I almost feel like it's underestimated in our life here. In our total lifespan, and the power that has to bring to other people around us. The more that we can invest in ourselves and believing in ourselves, the more of service we will be to others. It just is what it is, I feel.
And service is one of the highest areas that we can ever do in life, to bring that quality of life, not only for ourselves but for other people. But we're already worthy, because we were created by by God itself.
Right. So to be able to honor ourselves, that's what it comes back to. I mean, we really have to honor and accept ourselves. And, the other thing is, I know it was mentioned before that, there's, and I was trying to think, Liam was talking about, that imposter syndrome and things. And that's when we're concerned about what others will think about us. Okay, so if we're going to do something, are we concerned? Is that the thing that's going to hold us back? Well, it really shouldn't, because we are actually not just robbing ourselves, but we're robbing others of our gifts. If we don't make that contribution, if you don't make that post, and I'm talking about posts about you expressing yourself, about being your authentic self. If you don't put those things out, then you're holding back, and you're not believing in yourself, in your abilities, in your gifts, in your skills, in everything that you have. So it's almost like an opportunity missed if we don't, if we hold ourselves back. That's the thing, I guess.
Being authentic, being upfront, like, this is who you are, and taking that fully. When I belonged to every other martial arts club that I've ever belonged to, we used to have big and bold, right up where everybody could see it, was passion, believe in yourself, have that drive to go forward.
Exactly. And the thing is about making a solid foundation for ourselves. I think it's really valuable to understand that believing in ourselves is such a great foundation, regardless of anything external, to you. And when I say that, I also include anything external, as in maybe some feedback that we've received from people external to us. Maybe it's even sometimes from family members, and and that self-doubt creeps in. I mean, this happens all the time, and it's going to continue to happen every day. But we just have to have such a strong foundation of self-belief in what we're doing, in ourselves, in our direction, in our pathway, and that's why even like, if we fall back to, it's really valuable, and I can't stress this enough, to have dreams, to have visions, to have goals, because that gives us that direction, and it propels us forward with our self-belief in order to achieve those things. These things all come together now. We're bridging that gap, right?
Right.
We're bringing it all together. These things are important. So we're going to bridge okay, these are the visions, these are the goals. I believe in myself enough that I'm going after that and I'm achieving it. And then one of our previous speakers, Liam, had mentioned about having they're not just steps, but they're actionable things that we can be doing on a daily basis, moving towards that, achieving that goal, and believing that it is achievable for you. Many others, when you look at it, these inspiring people around us even, and yes, a lot of them can be, I mean, if you're a sports person, you can look at that. If you're into the, inspirational space. I mean, you look at people like Bob Proctor, like, Tony Robbins, I mean, Louise Hayes, I mean, just so many incredible people. I mean, I would be here all day listing them out, and all the things that they present. I mean, Eckhart Tolle with this moment, the now.
Michael
Buddha.
Leonard Beckwith.
Right. Buddha. Yeah. I mean, like, we're talking just historically, we could be labeling the people for hours and hours on end. Mm-hmm. But I feel the importance of what they bring to the table. If they had self-doubt and if they didn't believe in themselves, they wouldn't have brought this forward to us, these gifts in the world. So when I think about that, wow, nobody in this space cannot bring your gifts forward and all your contributions, okay? Because we could be missing out on something just amazing. I think that's really just, where I want to start to kind of focus on in this space is this self-belief, believing in yourself is really paramount. Because look at all these people that achieve things, that have brought wonderful things into the world. If they really didn't overcome their own self-doubt and move to a point of believing in themselves and just keep going forward no matter what, no matter how many times they had rejections in their life. I mean, just having rejections isn't a signal to stop what we're doing, to leave what we're doing. It actually just means when we have a rejection that we have to tweak what we're doing, we might have to review it, or it's just not the right door for this opportunity. Uh-huh. So it's about those things. And look, this is something that really in real life I can definitely attest to. For example, the movie that I'm in development phase for. Now, I was tweaking and working on, different things, with different producers. And then, in the prospect of about to commit to a project and looking at it. And then this, there was one that I really wanted and the door closed on that opportunity for whatever reason. But then a month later, it was just like this opportunity was here and it was the right time, it was the right place. But I just kept going, I wasn't going to stop. I was like, okay, I'm going to read this other script. I'm going to, provide feedback on it. I'm going to see if this is something that might be for me. And, this new opportunity arrived, the email arrived. I looked at it. I still did my due diligence on it all. And the opportunity is here. But maybe I could have just thrown in the towel and thought, okay, well, the previous one, it didn't work for me. They said no or whatever. So, but really, maybe it wasn't the right fit. And since I've been in development with this team, it's just been like heaven working on these things. Everything seems to just flow. The energy is all really good. And when little things happen, we all get together and band together and solve it. It's just like a harmonious thing that happens when, everything is aligned. It's easy to work with these people. There's just, there's this flow of energy, of good vibes. So, I mean, that's just like an example for me that reaffirms that, I'm on the right path. And there's been little small things too, but this is the most recent example that I could really tell you, and I'm doing it right now. I'm right in the example. So, we can never stop believing ourselves because, and I can't stop believing myself with this project because I have to take it to execution. So every day I have to commit to whatever it takes to get myself back into that mindset. If I drop off, if I sway a little bit, I have to recommit. I am accountable to myself. I believe that I'm worth the investment, and we all are. Everyone in this room is worth the investment. Every single person, and especially because of our differences, even more so.
Yeah, exactly. Made a lot of great points there, Indra. It is a great opportunity, a really awesome investment, and with believing in yourself and whatever we have to do within our lives. There was a bunch of times where I could get off track, where I stopped believing in myself or wanting to dim my light down years ago. And then one person, after going and seeing that psychotherapist, who says, "Why the heck would you want to dim your light down when you are shining so brightly?" So then it goes back again with self-esteem, believing in yourself, and boosting yourself. So I learned that music is a wonderful booster, empowerment, writing stuff down, affirmations, awesome boosters, because you're believing in and all that as you're reading them, and they inspire you to do more work, and then little by little you're getting yourself into more and more mantras, and they're just like little food for thought. I have years ago I called them spiritual tidbits.
The other day, somebody asked me where I was from, and I replied, the Milky Way galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
And that was pause for them to open their mind and think for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went about telling them where I lived and where I was from.
Mm-hmm.
And so I probably opened their mind to a little bit more broader perspective.
Right on. That will open it up even more to a further discussion on that too. Right on.
Yeah, I really don't know where we all come from, but we all do come from stardust. That one thing is for sure. I just also want to thank everybody at this point for chiming into the chat. Thank you so much for lighting up the chat. Thank you for sharing all these things in the chat. There's some really nice posts in there. I'm going to go back and read them all in more detail after here, after we get out of this space. Really appreciate everybody popping into the chat and even just saying hi. It's always a really great opportunity for me to get to know everybody in the chat. I think this has been a wonderful conversation today. I really thank you all
Thank you, Andrew.
for all the energy, for all the good vibes that you've brought to this space. And hey, let's just check out what's up in the nest. Our partners were just in the room before for a little while, but of course he's got to get back to teaching some high school kids. So Bunsen and Beaker, thank you for dropping in. And I've posted their space on Saturday night. If you are a pet fan, there's a pet chat on Saturday night, and I always like to go to those. And then there's also the super followers, the VIP club, which is a monthly paid subscription to some private spaces with me and private content. And then also there's the Positivity Vibe Tribe community. So everybody, I think most people here are already members. And then, of course, thank you to our sponsors, Wordsmith Pakistan, for sponsoring this space. Really appreciate you. And lastly, there is the show Believe in Yourself that is up in the nest. So all of that is up in the nest. And then also the chat, which is down the bottom. You guys can also still drop into the chat and add some other thoughts after this space has even ended, believe it or not. So I just really want to thank everybody for attending the space today. It has been a wonderful discussion with everybody who's contributed. And also thank everybody. I'm really thankful for everybody that's just kind of dropped in and said hi, and for all the DMs I got. I know today seems to be a very busy day, and a lot of people that wanted to make the space, they're going to go back and listen to the replay. So that's why I'm mentioning thank you so much for your DMs. I appreciate you, and I know you weren't able to attend today, but thank you for listening to the replay. So thank you to my co-hosts who were here, to Rev, and also to Stephen, who was here earlier. So thank you so much. And then also to the speakers today, thank you so much, guys, for contributing to the space. You really add value. And thank you to everybody that's put a note in the chat. Even some people that just said, hey, hi, I'm here. Love that too. And also to the listeners. Thank you, listeners, for dropping in and supporting the space. Really, really valuable, your presence, your energy. Love it so much. I can't believe it's Thursday. Where did this week go, everybody? We'll be back next Monday night with a special guest, Rose Horwitz, who is an award-winning Pulitzer journalist. And we are going to be chatting with her in the Positivity Vibe Tribe space on Monday evening. So do come back and do have the most amazing weekend, everybody. Until next time, I'm sending you all, until Monday night, love, light, and blessings.
Thanks, Indra.